Welcome back to another day and another motor mount. So today this will be the rear mount, and I believe this might also be called the rear transmission mount. This attaches to the back of the engine and attaches to the subframe. So here on the screen you can see the diagram of where this actual mount goes. I'll get under the car and show you where everything is, and hopefully we can access all the bolts and remove this. If you haven't seen the last video was for the front engine mount or front transmission mount. We can call it an engine mount because it mounts to the block. We're going to go ahead and get started. Well, I just wanted to show you how I am going to get to the bolts for this. You can tell from the diagram this might be a little tricky, but you can see here I've got an extension. And if you follow it all the way down, you can see I think this is a 24-inch extension. So this is how I'm going to remove these 15mm bolts. I am going to remove the engine cover just to get a little more room. Well, you guys aren't going to believe this. I got that third bolt out, but in order to get it out, I ended up taking the sway bar loose and also the actual engine cradle, the subframe that holds the engine. Now that cradle only has 4 bolts that holds it up to the vehicle, so it's really not a huge deal. I did leave the 2 front bolts in. I just loosened them a little bit, but I did take the back ones out. I'll show you what that looks like right now, and I'll show you where we're at. I still need to get the through bolt out that goes obviously through the mount, and then we'll be able to remove it. But I think I was going to have to do this regardless to get that mount out, and you'll see why here in just a second. This hole right here is the actual the main bolt. It's an 18 and these are 2 15s. You can see I've probably got about a 1.75 to 2 inch gap there. You can also see where I took the sway bar loose. And before I put these bolts back in, I will go ahead and get that mounted back. But right up there you can see the mount. Here's the plate that it goes on this side. It also acts as the exhaust hanger. And if you look closely, so right there is the through bolt, and I'm just going to take some extensions and try to get it from over here. And this is probably the most difficult engine mount, so I would say unless you need to, I wouldn't try to change it. But I do have a noise forward to back that I believe could be this mount or the first mount that I changed. I haven't driven this since I changed the first mount, but there is a fair amount of easy play on there. So I'm going to work on getting that bolt out. I will try to make it to where you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to get that bolt out, and I will set the camera where you can see what I have to use to get to it. So hopefully you can see here I've got 2 6-inch extensions and a deep well 18 going onto that through bolt. I don't know if you can see or not. So I've also added a 3-inch, I think it's 3-inch extension here. So I'm gonna get up here on here and pull this bolt out. There's a pretty decent opening right here. I'm gonna resituate. I'm gonna get this plate off of here. All right, I was able to finagle the impact, and I'm just gonna use the impact to pull this out. So here you can see we got the bolt out. That thing's longer than a Monday. Okay. So now the mount is just ready to come out. Okay, I'm going to try to bring it out through here. Alright, I'm going to try to capture getting this in place, but I don't know that I'm going to have much luck. Okay. Getting close. Okay. It's in place, but we have to get the hole lined up for the through bolt. But you can see it is in place. So I'm going to go ahead and get the through bolt in. This is really difficult to record. Well, I can't believe that. Okay, let's see if we can start one of these. I'm going to clean these bolts up real quick. So we're just going to clean these bolts up. It's just going to make it easier to get them started. Well, hopefully you can see where we're at. Try and get this first bolt. Alright, so I'm gonna put these bolts back in, get them started, and if I need to, if there's anything special I need to tell you, I'll come back and let you know. I just finished installing the rear motor mount. It was very difficult to film, but I think due to the lack of videos out there, at least I can give you some insight. In the end, I ended up pulling the subframe loose. I didn't take it all the way out, but I did get the two rear most bolts out, and I loosened the two front ones so that I could drop the back a little bit to get access to the bolts. But anyway, I haven't watched the footage yet. I just have a feeling that I don't have a lot of good information, but what I do have, it'll be right here, and I'll have a link in the description for any tools that'll make this job any easier, as well as the full set of motor mounts I got. This is the second video I've made on the motor mounts. The first one was the front motor mount at the bottom, and the next two videos will be the left one and the right one.